For our first story, the second leg of the nationwide disinfection exercise of market centers is taking place this morning in the Ashanti regional capital of Kumasi, and questions are being asked about the decision by authorities to cover selected facilities only. Now, some traders and other members of the public argue that leaving some centers out could also limit the desired impact of the exercise. However, the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council is saying the size of the Kumasi Central Market alone could delay coverage of other facilities by way of the disinfection starting this morning. The regional minister, Simon Osei Mensah, indicates the exercise could be extended to tomorrow, that's Saturday, and Sunday as well, to enable authorities cover more markets, for which he wants residents to stock enough essentials within the period. Nana Sensu Mensah has been looking at all sides as he also engaged traders and authorities on preparations so far.
One market within the jurisdiction of Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly out of over 200 in the region have been earmarked for Friday's disinfection exercise. It is unclear if markets in the municipalities will be covered, as is the wish of traders who ply their businesses in those facilities.
She says, we want the disinfestation exercise to be conducted in the night and in all the markets across the whole region, because if all markets are not covered, some traders may transfer the virus from the remote market to the cities.
The same time. Let's just say
Regional Minister Simon Osei Mensah says the disinfection will cover as many markets as possible, as he calls for public cooperation.
People who are going to do the spraying, the various teams are in town. They are going around the metro, municipal and district assemblies to look at places where they will reside to do the exercises. And they are drawing movement plans as to where to start from and then the next place that they will move to. So everything is in order. We hope to have a very successful exercise.
How many days?
Actually, it's going to be maximum 2 days. We expect they could do it one day, but looking at some of the markets, if you take Central Market, for instance, it's going to take a lot of time. And KME alone, we are going to disinfect 22 markets. So it might spread to the following day, that is Saturday. But for now, we anticipate to do it one day. What I will urge everybody who is listening to us and possibly watching us is to make provision for some few foodstuffs for Friday and Saturday, so that if we are unable to finish the exercise on Friday and express to Saturday, at least they will have some stock that will take them for the 2 days.
Meanwhile, local farm input producer Desert Lions has presented 20 mixed blowers and 100 units of personal protection equipment to the regional administration to aid the COVID-19 fight. Kwame Chiribu-Akodua is manager.
We are an indigenous company, and looking at the intensity of the pandemic that is running through the whole world, we felt that we need to help the state. And so we decided to give some of the products that are produced in our factory, to support the state so that we can win the battle and overcome this coronavirus, which appears to be very devastating, affecting the entire nation. So that's the motivation. Yes.
Nana Sensu Mensah reporting for Joy News.
Right here in Accra, the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, says government will first have to weigh the economic and social cost of a lockdown of Ghana before any such decision could be taken. The president's comments come as pressure mounts for government to impose total restrictions on the movement of persons to help prevent further spread of the coronavirus pandemic, which so far has claimed 3 lives in Ghana, as the number of confirmed cases now hits 132. The Ghana Medical Association only this week called on the president to impose a lockdown. The Trade Union Congress, which has already called for the imposition, told the president at a meeting at the presidency or the Jubilee House that the risk of further spread remains high based on their assessment.
It takes a lot of courage for you to close down universities, schools, and so on. In that statement, we did not, we found that workplace must still be open. Businesses are open, workers must go to work. And so, as you would expect, we had so many calls from our members on the field, and they were wondering what the policy is. So I called the Minister for Employment and Labor Relations. I went to his office, and we had a discussion. He assured me that it is not as if the government has forgotten about workers, but the president is relying on advice of experts. So at the appropriate time, the decision will be made. Engage the social partners. Because if the time comes for us to lock down, what it means is that employers will have a role to play, workers will have roles to play as individual workers, and trade unions also will have a role to play. And the government is already playing a fantastic role.
And the president, on his part, also indicated that lockdown is a decision that could not be taken lightly.
It's clear that the measure we took to close our borders, ban international travel, and in the immediate aftermath of that banning, everybody who came to Ghana had to be subjected to mandatory quarantine as well as testing. At the time, there were a lot of comments, many of them unhelpful. But at the end of the day, I believe that the decision to ban international travel, as well as to take the measures of quarantine and testing, are being vindicated by facts. It turns out that the overwhelming number of cases confirmed in cases of infections that we have in Ghana are all from people who came from abroad. And of those who came and have been quarantined, an extreme number, some over 50 odd, have been found to be carrying the virus. So focusing on the importation of the virus and the infection has proved to be absolutely spot on. And we are now seeing the benefit of these measures. But we can never stop there. We have to constantly look at whatever additional measures are there that will put us in a strong place to deal with this. Whatever we do, people are talking now in Ghana about a lockdown, this and that. The majority of people who will be affected by decisions of that nature are the working people of our country, the ordinary people of Ghana. They're the ones who will be most affected. And it is important for us when we're taking these decisions to take into account their circumstances and conditions. You're going to lock down Accra. What are the consequences? You're going to lock down the country. What are the consequences? Or particular areas of the country. A government, a responsible government, is required to look at all the implications before decisions are made. And that is the exercise on which we're currently engaged. And I'm hoping that much sooner than later, we will come to an agreement within government of what those measures are, and then the Ghanaian people will be informed.
Meanwhile, the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, is said to have already submitted to the President a document detailing the economic implications of a decision for a lockdown. The Minister for Information, Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah, who disclosed this, tells Joy News government is now better able to weigh the cost of any decision to impose restrictions on movement of people to check the further spread of the coronavirus infection.
The question of a lockdown is not a new suggestion.
Right.
As I've mentioned, in the last 3 weeks, the president, engaging the various stakeholders, receives briefs, subjects it to various analysis. The subject of some restrictions, if you even look at the bill that was passed in Parliament, it talks about restrictions. Yeah, so the subject of restrictions and which level of restrictions will be optimal has always been on the table. It is on the table. Various scenario analysis come up, like it's been said. If you say you have a lockdown, how do people eat? How do people use sanitation services? How do people do all sorts of things? How does a lockdown potentially in Ghana compare to what it's in Europe, where you have a different address system and all sorts of things? So all of those analyses have been done. It is on the table. If it becomes necessary that any of those restrictions are imposed, His Excellency the President has demonstrated so far that this is a state matter. He takes it with all the level of seriousness, but listens to all the dimensions before arriving at a decision, and he will do well by the people of Ghana.
No, we understand that the president is engaging or has engaged the finance minister to look at the economic implication of a lockdown. I mean, how true is this?
About 2 weeks ago, the president instructed the Minister of Finance and the ministry to prepare an economic analysis document on the various scenarios of being hit by COVID-19. Okay. That document has been around for a while now. It keeps being recalibrated depending on the numbers and the scenarios that are coming up. But we have clarity on what it may cost us in terms of growth, in terms of revenues, etc. And he has mentioned a bit of it even to Parliament. The other dimension is that some of the interventions that you want to introduce will have implications on sections of the population or sections of the economy. How do you mitigate it? Again, I do know that as at yesterday, the minister responsible for finance and the economic management team had the opportunity to engage on some of those numbers. And most likely by Friday, he may have to come to Parliament. He may by Friday have to come to Parliament and explain if indeed government has decided to introduce some more economic measures beyond what has been done, what it means for the fiscal position, for growth and for everything else.
Well, let me tell you this. As a quarter of the world's population is locked down, proposals for same to be done right here in our country would definitely come with some mixed reactions. And a research scientist at the Department of Medical Diagnostics of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology is of the opinion, rather than locking down the entire Ghana, the epicenters could be targeted regionally or city by city. So we'll hear his argument as well as what others have been saying about how that decision could be taken.
My name is Kelvin Osudapa and I offer Apply Electricity and I'm a robotics club member.
My name is Brad Richard and we are in the same club.
And we are students of Wasisek Tech, Esika 4. Due to the pandemic, everybody's using the Veronica bucket. But with this type of Veronica buckets, there's a problem. It uses a faucet. And in order to wash your hands, you need to open the faucet, and whereby you touch it. And in order to, after washing your hands, in order to close it, you need to touch the faucet again.
Is government considering a lockdown? Let me say that all options are on the table. All options are on the table. Government continues to receive advice which is subjected to analysis by the
Information Minister Kojo Oppong Nkrumah announcing government will only take action after experts speak. But the health experts are divided. The first to have called for a gradual lockdown is the Senior Research Fellow at Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, Dr. Kofi Boni.
We can do a gradual looking at essential workers, maybe working electricity, water and all that. They can be going. And even that one, we can cut down the numbers because people are taking public transport. That is the issue. I'm thinking we can do it gradually, this lockdown, starting with essential workers, those that we really need. They should go. And those that we can do without for a period of time should stay at home.
The Ghana Medical Association agrees with Dr. Boni, except they want it to be taken with immediate effect.
Now, the question we should ask ourselves, do we want to go to the levels of Italy, Spain, and the likes before we try to break the chain of transmission, or we do it now and save our healthcare system? We have a system or a health system that is not as robust as that of others. We also are not in control of medical supplies because most of them are actually brought into the country from elsewhere. And at this crucial point in time, where virtually every country is actually trying to mobilize all that they can to fix their own COVID-19 problems, it has become imperative that we take these measures to contain the spread of the disease now.
Again, another aspect, this time a virologist with the Kumasi Center for Research into Tropical Medicine, Dr. Michael Owusu, says the approach proposed by the GMA is wrong.
If you close the country down and you don't have variables to measure the success of your close down, then you cannot predict when to close down, how long to close down, and what will be the end result of this. So for me, the first is that you must know the exact burden of the disease at the community level. It is the community cases that sparks outbreak. So once you understand the burden of the case, you can lock it down. And once lockdown is ongoing, you still test. You still do mass testing. Then you expect that the cases that report to your hospitals or the number of tests will tell you the prevalence change after lockdown or within lockdown and before lockdown is what will tell you that you are being successful.
These are all health experts, but they are not the only ones making arguments. Community NGOs are also kicking against a total lockdown as they fear the slums will be greatly affected.
If there's a lockdown, we will be the hardest hit with a lockdown. Why am I saying this? Majority of the residents of Zongos, inner cities and slums are in the informal sector. We don't have savings, we don't have salaries, we don't have bank accounts. Now, how are we going to survive? Issues of sustenance, issues of water, issues of food would kill people, not COVID-19. So again, let's begin to understand the exigencies of time. Where should we spend our resources? If there's the tendency for a lockdown or a lockout in Accra, one of the things we recommend would be that these community coordinating centers must be established in such communities. We have to identify and target communities that require such essential services and then provide them. You provide water, you provide food, some minimum level of food to keep people alive. And these are things that is a non-negotiable. It's a no. You cannot lock down the city when you haven't provided for the informal sector to survive. And so we are saying clearly that we support whatever government wants to do. But first, let's get the structures right. Let's get the preconditions right.
It appears government will have a Herculean task making this decision. Lockdown to mitigate the spread or leave it open so the ordinary Ghanaian survives.
And we have more conversations and details about how we're managing coronavirus. Look, in Kumasi, the Ashanti Regional Capital, the exercise that was undertaken in Accra, the disinfection exercise by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development in collaboration with Zoom Lion Ghana, the rest of its subsidiaries, and a number of organizations is also being undertaken there right there this morning. I will take you live to Kumasi. We'll tell you what is going down. But what is also dominating the discussions are the reactions, because the president has made his own pronouncement about if we have a possible full lockdown or partial lockdown, what could be the implications. All these coming up next. We'll review the newspapers. Madam Sanitizer, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great.
Just trying to get used to the new normal.
Yeah.
Where there's not hardly traffic really, and I realize there's a tendency to speed because of the way it is flowing. But we want to remind you that your lives are still very much important. There were things we were battling with before coronavirus, and they are things that we still continue to battle with. So our Arrive Alive campaign is definitely on. We want you to cherish your life and drive carefully. Remember to wear those seat belts and just drive defensively, even though it's usually free-flowing. You know what
That's
I mean?
true, but you get to find that, especially today too, because it is Friday, based on what the observations from me are during the week, that by the time it's the afternoon period, we have some level of traffic or pockets of traffic, either going to Central Business District or some other places. It means that offices or companies or startup companies, for example, perhaps are not encouraging their workers to work from home, and they need to do so. Well, not necessarily.
Well, not everybody can work from home.
Yeah, no, we do understand
Not
that.
everybody can
And
work from home.
because we've come to a point where movements will create a certain situation and apprehension for those who are managing the cases that we have. Yeah, and we need to be more responsible and accommodating to complement what the state authorities are doing, so we restrict ourselves. And if you can tell that boss that, look, I can do this tax from here, and that person can listen to you, I think you should be in a position.
Yeah, I think the advice is if you can, if it's possible, what you do, if it can be done elsewhere apart from coming into town, like we say, then yes. But definitely if you cannot, I mean, a lot of us are still working from our offices, is the precautions that you have to take. Protect yourself as if the next person sitting right there has the virus. That's what we are saying. So let's do the newspapers. We will be going to Kumasi, the Ashanti regional capital, where an exercise is taking place to disinfect markets there in response to the outbreak of the coronavirus. So our colleagues are on standby in Kumasi. We will touch base with them in the course of our programming this morning so they can give us updates of what's happening there in Kumasi. But I'll do the Daily Graphic newspaper, beginning of the review. Front page of the Daily Graphic, lockdown effects on citizens can't be ignored. So there's a lot of pressure on the president because there are various groups calling for a lockdown. And that's because of what we've seen, we've witnessed in other countries. South Africa, effectively from midnight, and they are 2 hours ahead of us, they are in lockdown. It's only essential services. You can go out to the pharmacy, you can go out to buy food, for instance, you can go out to the hospital. There's only things that are essential that you can go out there to do. Otherwise, the military is out there ensuring that that directive is complied with. So there are a lot of people doing partial lockdown and things like that. And people are looking at those situations and saying, look here, Ghana, it is time to lock down. But the president is reminded that there are many other people who may suffer as a result. So he's critically looking at the situation whilst listening to others make their case. So that's what the story is about. On the front page of the Daily Graphic, the headline is there with details. Also, partisan politics can wait. COVID-19, the enemy. That's according to government. And I like the headline. Partisan politics can wait. 808 prisoners granted amnesty in the midst of COVID-19. This news came out yesterday. And Kumasi residents stock up food ahead of market disinfection today. That's exactly what we did last weekend, particularly on Saturday, because the exercise happened on Monday. And Kumasi is happening today. So we will check out, we will bring you videos and pictures of the situation in Kumasi. On the back page of the paper, though, Presby Church supports frontline workers fighting COVID-19, and it's a big ups to the Presbyterian Church who have taken up the responsibility to take care of health workers at this crucial time. So the church has begun the provision of food for frontline health workers working in connection with the COVID-19 pandemic at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Tema General Hospital, and the Ga East Municipal Assembly. The church is to provide lunch every day for 300 medical workers at the 3 designated health centers managing COVID-19 cases in the country for the next 7 days. We talk about leadership, and it's staring you right there in the face. The Presbyterian Church offering to provide food for some 300 frontline workers in 3 crucial health institutions because of COVID-19. It takes a bit of the pressure from them, and we hope that other people would follow. There are many others also making donations, and I read a story on radio this morning at 6 about Senyo Hossi and his wife also making a donation, and they decided to make it public. Their donation went to the 37 military hospital. They decided to make it public to encourage other Ghanaians to also donate. Do so. Yeah. So, you know, especially the facilities that have been mentioned over the period, people will definitely want to go to them. So if we
I think
can.
where they can also get some help or would need some help is the Tema General Hospital.
Exactly.
The Reach is also there. Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
So the Presby Church's Tema General Hospital is one of the hospitals that they are making lunch available to. Am I correct? Yeah,
I know for Tema, for example, they'll
Mm-hmm.
need a lot of the PPEs, the masks, and all that, the gloves, because you need to constantly be changing them, and they'll need it at every section of the hospital, OPD, emergency.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do the front page of the Finder, lockdown impacts and the scrutiny. Ordinary people and working class in focus, according to the president. It comes back to what I did say when I was looking at the stories in the Daily Graphic newspaper about what the president is looking at, the considerations, the reminders, and the appeals all coming together. But that's why he's the president, right? You in times like these, we criticize, we make a lot of criticisms, like, but in times like this, you don't want to be the president. You don't. Dr. Awal supports 7 constituencies and fights to fight COVID-19. CBG commits 1 million Ghana cedis to support COVID-19 fights. Let's not politicize COVID-19, government to political parties. So far, I don't think we're politicizing it, are we? The Ghanaian Times newspaper, front page. National House of Chiefs join fight against coronavirus. President grants amnesty to 808 convicts. Government engages political parties over COVID-19. Ghana's COVID-19 cases climb up to 132. No COVID-19 lockdown yet. President allays fears. On the back page, Ho Central Prison shuts gates to new prisoners. And Ghana Water assures Upper West Region residents of constant water supply. Let's do the Daily Dispatch. Front page of the Daily Dispatch, 59% of 132 COVID-19 patients were part of mandatory quarantine. True story of a Ghanaian nurse in US who recovered from COVID-19, also being told in the paper today. So, you can catch up. There's an announcement, dear readers, in view of the possibility of some sort of lockdown next week. The Daily Dispatch will be off the newsstands for a few days. Okay. The Daily Statesman, front page of the Daily Statesman, Information Minister cautions against politicization of COVID-19. Let's consider the poor. President reacts to calls for lockdown of country over COVID-19. And leaders must face their challenges and solve them, Ken Oforiatta declares. Roland?
Well, let's go to the Daily Guide. Has on the front page, woman arrested with fake dollars, 2 Nigerian steal government cars. Nana set 808 prisoners free. We do have also NAPO offers COVID-19 suggestions, but the main story, fear and panic as COVID-19 grips 132. Now, government also considers a lockdown. The decision is whether we need a full one or a decision on a full lockdown or a partial one is where we have to go. And on the back page, is still related to COVID-19 or coronavirus. And the word is there on the back page of the Daily Guide. Coronavirus is scary. Kwadwo Asamoah admits he plays for Inter Milan. He's in the epicenter in Europe, okay? And he knows what he's talking about. We've all seen the pictures, the videos, the coverage as they are, okay? And then we also do have Liverpool, betrayal, shock Manchester City. And the story reads that Manchester City have been left shocked by Liverpool's involvement in a group of clubs trying to stop a stay of their Champions League ban as they appeal, according to a report. Now, City have been handed a 2-year ban from European competition after breaching financial fair play rules and have launched an appeal against that decision. We all do know the appeal they've launched. Also, on the back page of the Daily Guide, we do have Manchester United chase Partey to replace Matic. Oh, is that so? Ghana newspaper. This one, it says the story is emanating from the Daily Star. If it was coming from the Guardian or or Manchester United website, I would have believed, but you never know. Anything can happen in the world these days. Doctor blames Atalanta Valencia game for Italy Spain COVID-19 rise. The cases have been just racking up in Spain as well. We'll give you full details as to what the local figures are and the world figures are. Across the world, the United States of America now is leading. It's now the epicenter of the disease worldwide.
Well, they say they are doing more testing, so obviously they've tested more than any other country.
Okay, so we have cap fines Ghana, 10,000 Ghana cedis for Stars Bafana pitch invasion. That story is also there. And okay, now let's go to the Business and Financial Times. Has on the front page, lockdown would leave us with no economy to run. And that story is on page 3, and it's the reality of what we face. And it's not only Ghana, it's the world. 60% of our budget, the one that is read to you by the finance minister, estimatedly, is funded from donor sources, grants, you know, loans, bonds, you know, from the capital markets, wherever we can get the financial markets.
Is this exposing our real size?
Yes, but we're not peculiar in this situation. It's a third world, if I still have to use that imperialistic term.
It's a developing country.
Okay.
It's a developing
country.
Yeah.
Developing
but I'm not sure we are the only developing country that has considered either a lockdown or a partial lockdown
Not at all.
kind
Not
of
at
thing.
all. Not at all. I think that we're considering this decision early because if we're inundated, we know we cannot take care of the cases when they come in. Also on the front page of the Business and Financial Times, Oscar Yaudo makes recommendations for stimulus package. And it says entrepreneur, philanthropist, and social activist currently based in Abuja, Nigeria. Has businesses in Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Benin, France, I believe Italy as well. So we have Republican Bank also cushioning customers. What the bank is doing is deferring their loan payment and offering other concessions. Okay, so it just means they'll restructure your interest payments levels. That's all, but you still pay. So don't worry. Yeah, you're only deferring your debt payments.
Yeah, still counts. Let's do myjoyonline.com and then we'll quickly do the BBC where we'll give you a wrap of what's happening in the US and then in South Africa, most especially in South Africa. But let's tell you what's happening on our page, myjoyonline.com. Travelers in mandatory quarantine make up more than half of Ghana's coronavirus cases. Ghana records first coronavirus recovery. And then no lockdown for now. Discussions ongoing. Akufo-Addo tells TUC over coronavirus spread. US surpasses China with most coronavirus cases worldwide. Ghana's coronavirus case load now in triple digits. Expert outline 4 things government should consider before declaring a lockdown. So that's a conversation that we will be having heavily here on our show this morning, even as we also tell you about the disinfection exercise in markets in Kumasi today. We will be talking about the impact, possible impacts of a lockdown, no lockdown. That discussion is here on the AM show. All right, minority backs call for nationwide lockdown in response to coronavirus pandemic, but mixed reactions greet possible lockdown. Let's do the BBC. We will make way for sport. We'll come back after sport and discuss the issues and tell you the real human interest stories. Sometimes when we discuss some of the issues, we're thinking about it. If you put your personal self into it, you might not appreciate the real picture. So we'll take the microphones to very ordinary Ghanaians. When we say citizens, any kind of citizen, any kind of person who makes up Ghana, if you like, and then we will tell you what they've also been saying about a possible lockdown. So we, appreciate all the issues. Let's do the BBC. Tanzania president says virus won't stop elections. It's interesting, when we're trying to deal with the virus, like this is what we are faced with. some people are thinking about elections. If you don't fight this virus, how do you hold elections? Okay, but I thought we'll do a wrap. So let's talk about South Africa, for instance. And this is what somebody has described the situation in South Africa. It's actually the first time since South Africa became a democracy in 1994 that a president has stripped away the most basic freedoms to citizens. And we're talking about the freedom to walk, to shop, to socialize, and to congregate for prayer without hindrance. There's a lot associated with a lockdown. For instance, let's go to the main BBC page, Fred. Take us to the main BBC page. All the headlines are there. Let's quickly run through and also tell you about the US. The US now has more confirmed cases of coronavirus than any other country, with more than 85,500 positive tests, according to the latest figures collated by Johns Hopkins University. The US has overtaken China and Italy, but with almost 1,300 COVID-19 related fatalities, the US death toll lags behind China and Italy. So that's that headline. I just read a bit of the details for you. All right. So the almost every news story now has to do with coronavirus. The scariest thing is if it spreads in the camps. That's also one of the things that the UN has been taking a look at and given some advisories on. U.S. employment claims hits record. Fred, can we just click on this story and share a bit of details? The U.S. unemployment claims. This is unbelievably shocking. And to think that there are many people who fall into this category who came forward just on day one. Charlie, we call ourselves developing countries, but I don't want to say it ain't so bad. I mean, we don't have data, so we can't say. But the number of Americans filing for unemployment has surged to a record high as the economy goes into lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic. So nearly 3.3 million people registered to claim jobless benefits for the week ended 21 March, according to Department of Labor data. That is nearly 5 times more than the previous record of 695,000 set in 1982. The rush overwhelmed many state offices handling the claims and signaled an abrupt end to a decade of expansion. So the shift comes as officials in states across the country close restaurants, bars, cinemas, hotels, and gyms in an effort to slow the spread of the virus. If it happened to us, where would you go and make a claim? All right, so that's the story that's even shocking economists. They didn't think that they had 3.3 million people coming forward.
All right, we told you that the exercise that took place in Accra, the disinfection exercise put together by the Ministry for Local Government and Rural Development in collaboration with Zoomlion Ghana and the rest of its subsidiaries in the Just Bond Group and allied companies that also want to support government in this initiative. It's also taking place in Kumasi. Erastus Asaridonko will give us a live feed, but in the meantime, we want to have this interaction with him on phone. And Erastus, good morning to you. What is the situation on ground?
The Central Market, Asapo area, and one Zoomlion spraying truck has been assigned to this place. We have other teams divided, scattered all across Kumasi. So we have, for example, Asokore Mampo, the team has moved already. Menchia, Soame, Amakom, Forikrum, Asokwa. So we are currently at the Central Market where just a distance in front of me, the spraying truck is doing its work, spraying both lanes. So as it goes, it sprays the sidewalks as well. I must say the streets are very empty this morning. No shops are open, but there are a few recalcitrant ones who have brought their stands. Just a short while ago, I saw a liquor joint selling alcoholic beverages by the side. And when he saw the team, he's now moving his things over. There's a gentleman who is also by the roadside. I don't know what he sells, but try to find out. Boss, what do you do here?
Blessed morning, Rastafari.
You did not know that they would do this exercise here. You're not supposed to be here.
I must know, and I'm aware of this, and I support it.
Why are you here?
This is why I stay. This is why I work. So it's like I'm supporting it. That's why you see me bringing all my stuff out.
I can see that they sprayed chemicals all over your things. And you are yourself. You are covered with the chemical. You're not bothered about it.
Yeah, man. You see, that is it. What do I have? I have no choice. But I support it. So whatever being the case, we support it. Yeah. Even though my things have been sprayed, but
you're not bothered that the health issue, the health hazard, it poses to your health itself.
Yeah, for the sake of health, myself, I support it. I'm not bothered about it at all. For good cause, you know this. Yeah.
Well, Mama V, you heard the guy. There are few of such people who are by the roadside watching some of the transport stations who are standing by the side of the road watching what is going on. Some of them are waiting to get the spraying done so they can open their shops. So that is the general scene here at the Central Market.
Before we let you go, though, what is the level of resources that have been marshaled for this exercise, knowing how vast Kumasi and the capital is?
I must say it's massive. I could count about 10 spraying trucks, Zoom Lion trucks. I could also count a number of spraying gangs that have been assembled at the Jubilee Park when we were there a short while ago. We have various teams across all the districts, starting from Ejiso to Asokore Mampong. All the peripheries have teams as well. There were bus loads, I could count about 10 VIP buses, bringing in spraying teams all across Kumasi. So I must say, each district has its own team, has its own track, and they are moving out.
Well, thank you, Erastus Asare-Donkor. We'll come back to you and we'll get all the latest live on video. But in the meantime, Amavi.
This exercise is affecting some 286 markets in the Ashanti regional capital. So we'll bring you more pictures and videos of what Erastus described right there after sport. We have to bring you sport. Benedict is here with some details. And I think what is most emotional and touching, the Arsenal manager has fully recovered from COVID-19. But he shares his story, how he was unable to hack the people that he loves. And he's telling us some of the real things that happens around this period because of COVID-19. Please stay for sports. We'll come back and tell you what's happening in Kumasi with the disinfection exercise, and also lockdown or not, what are the implications?
Hi there, good morning to you wherever you are. My name is Benedict Osu. It's time to talk sports here on AM Show. Today is Friday, 27th of March. If not for the coronavirus outbreak, today would have been a big game for Ghana. The Black Stars would have played Sudan at the Cape Coast Stadium, and that would have been Coach C.K. Akono's debut game since taking charge of the team as head coach. But it's not happening because of coronavirus, and we still have to talk about the impact and effects of the pandemic. Well, the referees in the Ghana Premier League want a meeting with the Football Association over the unpaid allowances. We understand the referees so far have received allowances for 4 match days after officiating 50 match days. There is more in the following report.
According to our checks, the referees have only received allowances from 4 match days, despite officiating until match day 15 before the Ghana Premier League was put on hold due to the coronavirus outbreak. Each referee receives 780 Ghana cedis after tax per game as allowance for handling men's game, with the women receiving 468 Ghana cedis per match. The Referees Association are desperately looking for possible means to meet the GFA despite the shutdown of their offices to look at how these monies will be paid. And with the league on break, there's uncertainty as to whether the rest of their allowances will be paid in due time.
So that was a report about the referees yet to receive their full outstanding allowances after officiating in the Premier League. We'll still have to stay with the coronavirus and its effects on sporting activities. The postponement of the Olympic Games, of course, that announcement was made earlier this week that it will no longer be staged this year following issues of athletes and other, organizations talking about how it will not be prudent to let the games go ahead. Now it's going to happen next year, that's 2021, and that decision by the IOC and also Tokyo, Japan, have received a resounding welcome. Well, in the midst of all the heat and everything that is going on around the world with coronavirus, I mean, this morning, let's take some time to just cool down, cool it off, and have some bit of a laugh. Check this out.
So the best kind of supporting hashtag bring out that one my name is go.
Please, we need your support in the outcome oh gosh.
Hello Ghana, meeting the Evans Mensah. Yes, we are called AFCON.
Follow Ghanaians, my name is Ban Kwame, Meteor's goalkeeper. We are going for tournament in Egypt and we need your support for
3, 2, 1, we go.
Hi everyone, my name is Kinsley Fobi, a player of Black Meteors. We have an upcoming tournament in Egypt and I will urge everyone to give us their support and also encourage everyone to
My name is Joseph Tego, aka Baby Joe, national motivator. Bring back of black. Bring back the love. Bring back the love. Hashtag. Okay. We will go hashtag. Okay, hashtag. No more hashtag.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, we go, action.
My name is Simo Zibo, I'm part of Black Meteors team.
My name is Samuel Vinjala, I'm part of Black Meteors team.
My name is Edward Sapon, I'm part of Black Meteors team.
All right, so some players of the Black Meteors team, this was recorded before their Africa Cup of Nations as the under-23 version, which was played somewhere last year. It was supposed to be an Olympic qualifier. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it in Egypt. Well, that's how we end sports this morning here on the show. It's a Friday. We still entreat you out there to stay safe, wash your hands, and continue to use your hand sanitizer. Willan, I hope you've been doing that.
Yes, and I've been doing that since I got the revelation yesterday that apparently if I do it 5 minutes apart, it's not effective. Dr. Courage Saba undertook a survey and said it looks like between 2 and 3 minutes is the best way for you to be replicating that. That is, if you touch surfaces, you interacted with people and all that, you make sure that you do it. But look, it's where we're going. Kumasi, the Ashanti regional capital. You know, the first exercise was organized right here in Accra. The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. And that's where we will take you. And they have marshaled all the resources. The Rastos give us what the indications are, everybody online, and the indications are that they have started the exercise and they just give you a sneak peek of what really is happening. But before we take you to that center where the disinfection exercise is being undertaken, would want to run you through what the figures are and coming country. Look, this is what we have. So far, the world, globally, as we have it, we have a total number of cases, 532,000, still growing. And the deaths out of this number is 24,000. But there's some good news. At least 1/5 of the infected numbers or cases we have recorded so far. And this has happened since January. Until about the last 24 hours, the last 36 hours, it was China that had the highest number of cases. Now, it's shifted to the United States. United States is now the epicenter of the world. In Europe, it is Italy. Let's just run that by you. Italy so far has recorded some 8,200 deaths, but it is because Italy has some 80,000 cases recorded so far. Now, if you look at what the numbers are, they're just a third in terms of the position, the United States being the first, China being the second, and Italy being the third. And if you look at the numbers apart, they're not too many. United States of America has 85,000, and they are beating China to it just by 4,000. And Italy follows closely with 80,000. And so Italy just 5,000 apart and just 1,000 apart from China. You know, the related conversation about how China has managed the situation is that over the last 4 weeks, it's not recorded a number of the cases and the related fatalities or deaths like it did in January and February. So they've been in a position where, as of this morning, the President of the United States of America has been having a discussion. Now let's go to the continent where we have it. So we have North America. We'll take you to North America quickly. And if we go to North America, we zoom into North America, you get to find that it's where we have many of the reds around. And all these cases you find with the red dots or the red spot are all cases. Now, it's in New York, the state of New York, close by Philadelphia, and then you also do have Boston, Massachusetts. You have Washington being the hub of the cases in the United States of America. But we shouldn't forget, when you go up north a little, you have Cleveland, and up again Detroit, and many of the communities, if not cities around there, have this disease. Chicago, Milwaukee, and you have the Tampa Bay area, all of them recording a number of cases. It shows how this disease seems to have overwhelmed the world. Because even though hospitals in the United States are managing this, they seem to be overwhelmed. There are concerns that some help will be needed, but the United States of America government, the federal government itself, is trying to do these interventions. And that's why the related conversation between Trump and Xi of China is ongoing. Now, let's take you to Europe. Europe, it's where we have Italy leading with some 80,000, and closely we have Spain and then Germany. Now, you go to Europe, you have a number of the dots here. So you have the dots, many of them here, and Italy is here. Rome has a number of the cases. Look, Italy has confirmed cases 80,000, deaths so far 8,000, but 1/7 of these 80,000 cases have recovered. However, 62,000 of these cases are still active, very active, overwhelming the ICU, the emergencies, the OPDs of Italy. And there are even reports that the number of priests, and at the last count, a number of them, about 30, had lost their lives. You go to France, you also have a number of cases. Greece, you go to the northern part of Macedonia, you have many areas in Montenegro, you have Sarajevo, and those cities in Europe you can find now. But look, let's go to Africa and look at our situation before we zoom into Ghana. It's a peculiar situation we seem to have. Initially, the cases started coming in through Northern Africa. Algeria, Egypt recording, Morocco subsequently. Now Libya also has a case. And then it trickled down to Sub-Saharan Africa, where we have the blacks. You know, Sub-Saharan Africa. So we have Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and you can find what the situation is. But you can see that if you do the analysis of the whole of Africa, it is South Africa where we have the bigger of the red dots, and we'll take you there quickly. It's where we have the lockdown. As at midnight, Thursday, the lockdown was on. Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, decided to impose the lockdown because they needed, at the time that it was imposed, to shut down. Over 700 cases had been recorded at the time. And areas around Johannesburg, the Eastern Cape, Western Cape, etc., are all making sure that they adhere to this. The military, as well as a task force of health and other immigration officers, have been on this surface, on this lockdown as far as this is concerned. The interesting part of it is that while this is ongoing, they've also recorded their first death. And you know, South Africa is a developed country in a certain relative sense when it comes to Africa. And South Africa reported its first coronavirus deaths. Now, South Africa, by this announcement from the health minister, Zwelini Mzize, announced on Friday that 2 deaths had occurred in Western Cape province, one at a private hospital and the other at a public hospital. He also did announce, though, that the number of confirmed cases had jumped to more than 1,000, but said that the details will be given in a subsequent media briefing. It's symptomatic of how the African governments are trying to manage information in this era. It's not easy. Telling you the number of cases, we currently, according to the official statistics, we have 132, and it's also related issues about how the South Africans are also managing this. Look, we have a story there. Let's watch it, and I will come back before we give you the rundown as we zoom in to the exercise taking place in Kumasi.
I think we just need to look at the global stats to understand why this is so important. And as I say to many people, I'm very optimistic. I know people are feeling, is this doom and gloom? What's going to happen to us? I think we need to consider the challenges that we have, particularly in South Africa. And, you know, for many of us, we say we've come through apartheid. We understand curfews. We know when people were asked not to move around because of the pass system. So this is just a very important process in our lives. It is shocking. It was really quite interesting to see our President Ramaphosa in full military gear yesterday, talking to the military. And it was a very positive, very compassionate pep talk saying, you know, you go out there, but these are our people. We are in this together. So in a democracy, to see that kind of movement.
Health Minister, South Africa. That country is under lockdown, but a number of media houses, the leading media houses, for example, SABC, will go there and get a report from there, have been working to ensure that they get the stories as it were. Let's get the latest from SABC, and then we'll come back. And if you look at the inserts there, the responses from South Africans, and that's their equivalent of what we have here, the trotro, okay? And the question about how the GPRT is also having that conversation about whether we need to reduce the number of people sitting on the seats in the trotro is also a question that is also facing the residents, if not the commuters of South Africa. It's a very peculiar, if not same situation being talked about. But if you look at the lockdown, the South African situation is telling us that they have deployed military personnel on the street, and it's very simple. For those who defy, you're arrested. And you have a picture like this. We'll quickly impose it on your screen, and you will find young people who had defied a curfew of a sort, even though it's called a lockdown, I mean, technically, and they're going out. So they've been arrested by the police and members of the task force that have been deployed. You can't find a number of them. And we do know in our country, the president of our republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, had been tinkering with the idea whether we should have a full lockdown, a partial lockdown. This is how it's going to look like. If it's a full lockdown, you don't go out. So if you live in Ashaiman, you sit in your home somewhere. But as generally has been done, starting from when China did it, you will go out, whether you want to go to a grocery shop, and here we're talking about markets in our case, or you want to go to the mall, etc. That's the situation we're likely to find. So you find a military personnel lined up in the streets of Johannesburg, Cape Town, Port Elizabeth, and many of those top cities and communities in South Africa. This is full lockdown. I mean, yeah, virtually full lockdown. So that's how it looks like. while you're looking at this and thinking how the city of Kumasi or Accra is going to look like. Look, we'll definitely take you to Kumasi. Before we speak and have some comprehensive analysis from our reporters deployed there in Kumasi, let's give you a sneak peek of what the current state of the exercise is, the deployment and when they started and the current situation. The pictures will come onto your screen soon, and this is how it is. And forget about how it's been, it's a bit shaky. It's part of the technicalities, trying to get all video and audio ready for this. Look, deployment is ready. We have all the vehicles with the various machinery, the chlorine disinfectant, also in that blue container you can see right there, and the personnel with their masks well geared or attired is for this exercise. The exercise is taking place in Kumasi. Of course, the location currently you're seeing because of this picture is just close to Minsha, etc. But the whole of Kumasi is under this exercise being undertaken. It is a national disinfection exercise. The first one, you will remember, brought to you live on Joy News, was convened in Accra. This is the second one we have been promised by the Ministry of Local Government that is organizing, leading this exercise alongside Zoomlion, providing and supporting with its subsidiaries, many vehicles, disinfectants, etc., and other organizations and bodies also helping with this to make sure that we have markets, selected markets, just a number of them, over 200, all lined up to make sure that we do this disinfection. We'll play you an insert from Kumasi where the minister for the Ashanti region is saying that this could be extended to Sunday, and it will mean that residents will need to stockpile some food. Okay, right here, we're locking it down right here on Joy News. To get all the latest update, keep interacting with us on Facebook, Joy News on TV. We do have a Twitter handle at Joy News on TV. And just in case you're not by your television, you can watch us live through My Joy Online TV on YouTube, which is our official channel there. And then you get the latest update from our foremost portal, myjoyonline.com. All this right up after this break. And we're doing this live. We are in Kumasi. We have deployed our correspondents to various sections of the street. It's where we have the national disinfection exercise taking place. It's the second in the series. The first, you all will remember, took place right here in Accra. And we'll have, of course, Erastus Asari-Donko and the rest of the team. Erastus is with us the rest of the morning. He is going to give us all the updates. You can see that, and with their sprayers, they're going around making sure they do their disinfection. And targeted markets in the capital, Kumasi, in Ashanti. You could see also the trucks spraying the disinfectants, these Zoomlion trucks, specialized trucks, deployed to make sure that this exercise, just like we saw in Accra, becomes a success. The Ministry of Local Government is undertaking this, coordinating this whole exercise with Zoomlion Ghana and the rest of its subsidiaries and other companies and groupings within the health and waste industry and sanitation industry as well, to make sure this is undertaken. This is going to take place possibly not only today, tomorrow, and according to what the Minister for Ashanti said, Simon Osei Mensah, possibly up to Sunday, depends. The advice he gave that because of the number of markets they've been demarcated, to ensure that at least residents in the capital would have that opportunity to go and shop or buy their food items or other wares in some of the markets that would not be slated for today, for today's exercise. Across board, we have in excess of some 280 markets designated or assigned to be disinfected for this exercise. And just in case you're a resident of Kumasi, you also want to join in this conversation, you can send us pictures and videos of what is happening in the market near you, in your community, if you live in the Ashanti Regional Capital of Kumasi, and tag us on Facebook, Joy News on TV. You can also send us more of these videos or give us more of your retweet and responses to our post on Twitter at Joy News on TV. Now let's take you to nearby main city of Kumasi. Ofori Krom is one of the suburbs, and Kwesi Deborah is joining us live. Kwesi Deborah, good morning to you. What so far have you been able to cover by your own observations?
The newly created assemblies, and they are undertaking this. And I know they're going to about 5 places, and so I have the head of the exercise, and he's going to tell us how many places I go to. I go 5. What are these? Okay, with that, we learned that the Queen Mother needs that. What are
our arrangements are just taking the market, but the thing that I feel is like particularly control. Where I can just say that we are passing that into our application.
Okay. And we are also learning from other quarters that the familiarity of the spraying machines. We know they are okay with the normal ones, but with the still ones.
But the people are saying that we another new another way just what they are doing, they are going by the schedule that the code on that out. That takes just the schedule to be back up.
It's not the war, is that because this is the other familiarity of going to the market, for instance, these machines, these machines, the other places that you need to cover. That's not going to be.
No, that's the reason that we have about 2,000 new ones to take the new one. So that when you get that end, you let it like
we are currently at the Central Market. This is within the Central Market area, and as you can see, there is a spraying gang which is doing the interior of the market. There is a van, that's a spraying vehicle that is going around on the main street, but behind me they are doing the various shops, spraying the walls of the shop as we go on. So this is the disinfection team for Central Market, KJTR and its environs. So currently we have a number of teams for Ofori Krom. We have Swami, we have Mosizongo, we have other areas. But you can see all the shops are closed at the moment for this particular disinfection. And what they are doing is try to spray the frontage of the shops and get as deep as they can at the moment. And there are many of such teams scattered deep within the market as we speak. So this is what is happening at the moment. There are many of such teams scattered within the market. It's a very huge market, and so there are many of these within the market. On the main streets, we have the spraying vehicles that are doing the main streets at the moment, and so they are currently around Dr. Mensah and its environs. But many of these spraying gangs are scattered across the markets, and they are doing that within. Boss, so where are we headed at the moment?
Here now we are at Bode Street. So we are from Bode Street, we are moving towards the Meat Shop area. From now we are moving to the Meat Shop area.
Are there any challenges at the moment?
No challenges, please. No challenges at all.
Will we be able to cover the entire market? It's a very huge market. How many of such teams do we have?
Now we have the one machine in this car, and then we have other small machines. You can see them. So we have about 10 of this. So we are moving lane by lane. From this lane, we're moving to another lane to do the work. So we will be able to cover the whole market today.
What's your name, sir?
I'm Thomas Kublenu, Thomas Lawrence Kublenu, please.
So Thomas Lawrence Kublenu is in charge of this particular area. And what you're seeing right now is the central market, the other end of the central market. There are about, how many entrances do we have?
We have about 25 entrances.
So 25 entrances. It shows you how big the central market is at the moment. So we are at the Bode end of the central market. From here, we are moving straight deep into the meat market area. Are all the shops closed?
Yes.
Food items, how covered are they?
Covered, adequately covered. They are all adequately covered. Yes.
So we'll follow the team and get to see more of such action. But when you go down south, we are seeing the spraying vans moving on the various streets. Currently, they are the Dr. Mensah area, spraying the entire streets as we speak. But they are doing the proper detailing, spraying the frontage of the shops, making sure that they get deep within the market to touch every single area to disinfect. So they are refilling now, and then they will move deep into the market again. So where is the gentleman? Let me find out what kind of chemical are we using at the moment.
What is that? Chlorine. We are using chlorine, please. Chlorine.
How effective is it?
Very, very effective. Yes, the potency also is okay. Yes. So it is very, very effective.
So they are all refilled and they are moving again. So let's try to follow to see how they are doing this. Let me say that compliance with this particular exercise has been very fruitful. We've had all shops are closed. When you move onto the streets, there are few people who are just standing and watching what is going on. There are a few recalcitrant ones who came on the streets trying to sell their wares, but they've all been driven away at the moment. So we go back into the shops as they do the exercise. So certainly it's going to take all morning to be able to finish the entire shops. It's such a huge task. We are talking about more than 500 of these shops currently. And so it's not an easy task, but they hope to finish by midday today. Gradually, they go deep within the market, and with this area, they sell all manner of things, local merchandise in this area. So all the shops are properly closed. I must say, many of the items they sell outside have been covered with polythene bags for this particular exercise. So at the moment, we have a number of these spraying gangs scattered all across Kumasi for this exercise. There are those who are currently at Menchia, Oforikro, Medins Environs, Moshi Zongo, and this is the team we have here at the Central Market Bode area as well. So this is going to go on for a very long time until we are done by midday. Here they sell chicken, live birds here at the Central Market. And as you can see, all the shops are closed for this particular exercise. And this is the team that is ensuring that we spray every nook and cranny of this particular shop to ensure that we move on. And this team is also followed by a drone team which is capturing the length and breadth of the market. And there's an oversight team as well, ensuring that this is going well according to plan. Let me try and speak with one gentleman. So, how are we going to ensure that every part is covered? You can see that here we have quite a number of things in there, but all of them are locked at the moment. How do we ensure that we go in and make sure every part is covered?
Surely every part will be covered, but we are not entering shops. We are only spraying the outside, I mean in frontage and the lanes of the shops, because we ordered that the traders shouldn't come to market today, so they will not be available to open the shops for us to enter the shops. So we are spraying the lanes, and that will be okay.
There are people who are asking questions about how effective this will be, you know, especially when you have these areas where they sell live birds. You're supposed to get a detailed spraying, go in there, be able to fill every part of it. How do we ensure this becomes very effective?
It will be effective because no chlorine is gaseous. So since it's a gaseous substance, it will be effective. It will be very, very effective. Yeah.
Thank you very much. But elsewhere in Accra, we were seeing mines and other things coming out of their holes and all that. We are yet to see some here. Have you seen any at the moment?
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. And so you have also not seen any.
I've not seen any yet, but we are still looking to see as the Zoom Lion staff move into the nook and cranny of the market, doing a fantastic job here, trying to disinfect the whole market and get it open for business come tomorrow.
The drone, they are also in to start their own. So I don't know if you'll have to capture that one.
Okay.
They are under where the cars were parked.
Okay. Are we still like? Okay.
So, me see him say free life and say I can't just. I want to know whether we are on.
Boss, I don't have a monitor, so I don't know. Boss, you see, they are... I've been waiting.
You from Kumasi, and alongside our deployed forces of the military to ensure that there is stability, there is law and order, and everybody is put in check. First, market women before today, as well as those other traders in the various designated markets, were notified, if not educated publicly, on the day of the exercise, and so were expected or are expected to have vacated the market before the start of the exercise. And indeed, since we started this live coverage, hearing from Kwesi Deborah, Erastus Asari Donko has also been in a position to give us what the pictures have been, what the state of the markets have been. Currently, the personnel with the vehicles are making sure at various vantage points in these over 280 designated markets are using the spraying guns, the rucksack sprayers, and then the chlorine disinfectant, as we can see in the live pictures we're showing and videos we're showing you, to ensure that they undertake this exercise according to how the health guidelines and modalities have been outlined since the whole exercise started in Accra. Also being used are state-of-the-art drones affixed with these disinfectants to ensure that while on-ground work is ongoing, they also have on-air disinfection. Let's hear from Erastus.
And spray just above the structure so we can get enough coverage from the air.
Okay, so we are going to see how this is going to get off at the moment. What's your name, sir?
My name is Alfred.
Alfred. So Alfred is going to fly this drone at the moment. I would like you to see what we are going to have here. It's a giant drone, actually. And as you can see, the base here is where the chemical is going to be. And they're going to fly this all over the market. And they're going to spray the market as well with this giant drone. So we're going to see how this is going to fly and do the disinfection as well. So they came really prepared, Zoom Lion, I must say, and the whole exercise is going to take different shades. We have the spraying vehicles that are going on the streets and doing the spraying of the streets itself. We have the spraying gangs who are also moving deep into the market to do the spraying. And then we have these drones, giant drones, that are also going to fly over the market and do the disinfection. Let me try to get closer. So when the drone flies, what will be its target at the moment?
Currently, we're going to be doing the big open spaces. That's where we are targeting. And the hand sprayers are doing the nooks and crannies of the place.
Okay.
Yes.
So how effective is this?
It's very effective in the sense that it covers wider areas in shorter times, and the spray is very even.
Okay, so we can't wait to see it fly. We're going to see how this is going to be done. But you can see the team behind me, quite a number of people assembled for this particular exercise. So we have that truck, which has chemicals in it. It does its own disinfection on the streets here. And then we have the various spraying gangs, the ones I was following. They are also using the spraying machines to go deeper within the market, do the detailed disinfection itself. So you can see the members behind me going to and fro, go inside the market, do the disinfection, they come back, they refill, and then they do it again. So we're going to fly this drone, but before that, this is the chemical they are going to use. It's been prepared already. They are going to fill this. They are going to put that into the drone and then start the flying, and then it will start the disinfection. What you see here are the controls they are going to use to fly the drone, control the drone, and do the proper disinfection. Behind me as well, you can see the machine is on, and so they are also going to spray directly and fill the air with enough chemical to kill every pathogen we have within the market circle. So once again, we are live at Bode entrance. We have many entrances to the central market. It's a very big market. This is the Bode end, and that is where we are. There is a spraying vehicle which is on the other side of the market at the Roman Hill area, the central market area, Dr. Mensah and its environs. And then we have this which is going into the interior of the market, doing the air spraying. We have the drone which we are about to fly at the moment, and that one will also be doing its disinfection. So we are ready. They are pouring the chemical in there. Okay, so is it full already?
Yes, it's full, yes. So we are getting ready to take off in a few minutes. We have a few adjustments to make, and then we'll be up.
And is it the same chemical we have in?
The same chemical that we have in the trucks is the same thing we are using.
Right. So we are ready to fly at the moment, and I can't wait to see this giant drone fly and do its job at the moment. So he's slotting in the batteries. Yes, and connecting the straps as well. And then we're good to go. Let me say that this has not happened in Kumasi for a very, very long time. Seeing disinfection at such a large scale, it's not happened here in Kumasi for a very, very long time. So there's an opportunity, not the COVID-19 alone, but to kill other pathogens, other microbes that we find in the market area. So we are ready to fly this drone as part of the disinfection exercise. He's putting on the straps already, and then we're good to go. But this is not the only drone they have here. They have other giant drones, and the camera can capture this one. Yes. So that's another giant drone we have here, and they are going to fix that one as well. So what is this one called?
This is called the M6E, and that's the M4. This is a bigger version of that. This is 10 liters. That one carries 5 liters worth of chemical.
This carries 10 liters of the chemical, and this one carries 5 liters. So definitely, this is a very huge drone as well. So we are good to go. Which one are we flying first?
This will go first.
Okay. So these are giant drones. This one carries 10 liters of the chemical we're going to use. This one carries 5 liters of the chemical we're going to use, and they're going to fly them. This one will go first and then start the disinfection. And we're going to follow that one for you right now for you to see how this is going to be done. This is the Zoomlion team. They came very prepared, and as you can see, we have diverse teams doing this disinfection. We have the vehicle spraying machines moving onto the streets of Central Market. We have Abuabu, Moshizogo, and its environs. We have Ofori Chrome, Swame, Tech area. They are all doing the same job. Now we're taking the drone over to be flown. So let's go see. I'm just eager to see how this particular drone will fly and how it's going to perform its job at the moment. So this is the control now. You are the controller. So how are we going to start?
So this comes on, it talks to that. We check all our settings, make sure everything is fine, and then we take off.
Okay. And what's the name of it again?
This is the M4.
M4?
Yes, and that's the M6.
So whilst we are doing this, there is a van which is following us at the moment, which is also doing a public communication, addressing the people and telling them what to do, what not to do to prevent the spread of COVID-19. So this is where we're going to fly the disinfectant drone, I must say, call it that way. For prevention of coronavirus. 1. Cover your mouth. So they are making sure that everything is checked and good to go. Yes, so they will turn it around, put it in a, yes, great. And it's now ready to go. This one is filled with 5 liters of chlorine, which is being used at the moment. And the other one is filled with 10 liters of chlorine. So we are flying this one first when we are done. And this one, as you said, covers a wide area. Which stores are we going to spray?
Oh, because of the nature of the drone, we don't go close to the stores. We need room to fly, so we only do the open areas.
Open areas?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll be doing just this open area as we see. Yes.
So it fills the air with a chemical?
The air with a chemical, correct.
It kills every microbe?
Correct. So we are kind of like an improved version of what is on the truck. Yes.
Right. So Zoom Lion came with a number, like I've been telling you, a number of disinfection teams. We have the spraying truck that is currently moving on the streets of Alaba, Central Market and all that. And then we have the spraying gangs who are using the spraying machines going deep into the market and spraying the frontage of the shops at the moment. And this one is going to fill the air with a chemical also to disinfect the air that we breathe, kill every microbe that we have. So currently they are checking the controls here to make sure everything is set before they fly it. We have 2 of such drones. There is a bigger version of this sitting over there with 10 liters of chlorine. This one has 5 liters of chlorine ready to fly. When we're done with this, we'll go to the other one. So today's exercise is fully mobilized, fully organized, and ready to fight COVID-19 and the spread at the moment. So this end where we are at the moment is Bode. Bode, the entrance of the Central Market. And currently part of the Central Market has been cordoned off for the second phase of the project to begin. And as you can see, we are about to fly and disinfect. So you can see the liquid spraying on the ground. That is what it's going to do when it flies into the air. So there we go. And this is the M16. And you can see how it's filling and spraying the air with the chemical. And this one has 5 liters of chlorine. So it goes in the air and sprays the open spaces. And I must say, quite a number of people who have gathered here to watch this. Would it be a problem for them?
Yes, because of the chemical.
So currently we need a team to get people away from this particular area.
And then fly to wake up.
So we have 2 of such drones. This is just a smaller version of the M16 spraying gun, and the chemical that is in there is similar to the chemicals that are being used in the spraying vehicles and the spraying guns that are inside the market at the moment. This one is to spray into open spaces and fill the air with a chemical, kill every microbe as it moves along. So if you're watching this, this is the central market area in Kumasi, and there are many entrances to this market. This is the Bode end. When you move forward, that is where they sell meat and other food items. Currently, every part of the market is closed for this particular exercise. Zoomlion has ensured that we do have quite diverse ways of doing the disinfection. So currently we have spraying guns that are inside the market, doing the frontage of the shops, and we have this drone, 2 of them, that are also disinfecting the open spaces.
So currently, as you can see, we've done this stretch.
Yes.
We are almost out of liquid, so we're going to pull over, top up, check our settings, and then we take off again.
Okay, so we are done with the first part, but the other drone still has 10 liters of chlorine.
Yes, so once we finish with this one, then we'll take off with that one as well. Yes.
So once we're done with this, we can fully say that the air around this area has been disinfected.
Exactly, because as you can see, the truck is also complementing what we just did.
So you can see the truck also doing its job. So this is to make sure that we leave no stone unturned in ensuring that the whole place is fully disinfected. When you go to the other side of the market, we also have the spraying vehicles that are doing the streets all across. We started from the Kejetia roundabout where the statue of Otumfuo is. We moved all the way to the Asafo interchange. We came back to the Roman Hill area. Currently we are inside the central market, the Bode end, and we are using the truck which you see in your shots over there, and we are doing the drones as well. There are other teams that are inside the market using the spraying machines to also disinfect. So it's going according to plan at the moment. We are leaving no stone unturned to ensure that every nook and cranny of the market areas is fully covered before we leave this area. And when we go back into your shops, we have the military personnel who are also ensuring that we have sanity here and everybody complies. But as you can see, the shops are empty. People are complying. People are supporting. Just some few people who have gathered alongside the streets trying to catch a glimpse of what is going on here. And certainly this is just something that you need to watch. A lot of people want to watch this, and people are watching from the balconies over there, as you can see as well. So we're doing the disinfection here. There are other teams that are covering other areas. We have Oforikrom, we have Moshizongo, we have Asokore Mampong, we have the tech area as well. We have going into the Mensia area. We also have my other colleagues also who are following the spraying over here. But the concentration at the moment is within this very big market, the central market. So we started with the spraying of the streets right at the new central market. There's another team that is spraying over there. And we are also here at Bode, another entrance to the old central market where we've started the spraying. Currently, we are refilling the drone. We can catch a glimpse of what is happening there again. So we've sprayed from this end to this end. We are refilling, and then we move a step further. So we'll keep doing this until we've covered the entire area, and then we are good to go.
And I tell you, it's non-stop. Straight away, we'll take you to the tech area where we have a market close by. Kwesi Deborah. Kwesi Deborah is ready with the latest update, and it's where the exercise is also ongoing. Now, Kwesi, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, Roland. Hello, Roland.
Yeah.
You can see me?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead straight away, and let's see what you've got.
Yes, Roland, we're here at the Tech Junction, and we were a minute ago, that's about 2 minutes ago, we're at the Oforoko Municipal Assembly. And we have the National Disinfection Exercise, and the Oforoko Municipal Assembly, as you know, is one of the newly created assemblies, and they are carrying out this exercise for this whole place. We'll be going to 5 places, and this is one of the places that we've alighted, and this is the Tech Junction, one of the places which is going to where the exercise is going to take place. So I'm going to speak with the head of the team, who is going to tell us more about what is going to take place today. So I have Mr. Abebio here. Mr. Abebio, you are the head of the team. Now let's see the places. We already know that you'll be going to 5 places. What are these places?
Those are the Tech Junction, Ejija Market, Anglogan and Onion Markets, Eyidrasi Market, and then the Kote Market. Those are the areas that we're going.
Oh, we are also learning that the Queen Mother of Ejija has made a certain request. What is this request?
Yeah, the Queen Mother of Ejija was saying that she wanted us to capture the public toilets as well. So right now we are factoring the public toilet in the disinfection exercise.
Okay, and I've seen the spraying machines, and I've seen the solo, I've seen the still, and from what we heard, is that some of the people are not, that's your workers, are not familiar with the still machine. What brought about this?
Yes, and we usually use the solo machines, but the still machines were procured recently by the municipal assembly. So that's how come that the workers are not so familiar with the new still machines. But currently, we have enough solo machines that we can use to carry out the exercise. But should there be a problem, then we bring the new still machines as a backup. Yeah, so that was the plan.
Well, in other places, we're seeing spraying trucks, and we're seeing drones. You know, for drones, that it has that area advantage. It's going to cover so many places, but you are only on the ground. Is that not going to impact the work?
Currently, this is just about communication. If we need the service of the drones here, we just have to call so that they'll just bring those things here, and we just take the coverage from the angles that we think will be best suited for this job.
All right, so now we are at the Tech Junction. From this place, where are you going to?
From this place, we are deploy workers to the Tech Junction and then the Ejija markets. And then we are also deploy workers to Anglogan and Onion markets. We are left with Eyidrasi and then the Kote markets to deploy workers, and then we are finished with all our deployments.
So let's look at the time. Since you're not using drones and also the trucks, let's look at the time. How many hours are you going to take to complete this whole exercise?
Yes, we are targeting using 3 hours, because currently, looking at the time is fast spent. It's almost about 8:26 now. So if we are targeting 3 hours from now, I think it should be by 11, 12 o'clock, maximum 12, we should be done with this exercise.
All right, so Roland, you heard the head of the team, Mr. Victor Abebio, and he's been telling us what has been happening, what's going to happen. So in a maximum of 3 hours, we should be done with this whole exercise. Chlorine-filled tanks, that's spraying guns, are all going to be around. He's telling us also that the solo machine is what they are familiar with, not familiar with the still machine, but they know how they are going to manage it. So we're going to monitor the exercise and know how this whole thing is going to pan out. So Roland, back to you in the studios.
Yeah. Look, great coverage so far. We've got it all covered. Wherever the exercise is taking place, whichever market in Kumasi, right here on Joy News, we'll bring you the relevant updates. We will be ready for Erastus, and he already will give us the next line of the coverage and the picture for the exercise. But we also have to tell you, if you live close to any of those communities where these markets and the fumigation, the disinfection is ongoing, you can give us more of your pictures as we get interactive on Facebook, Joy News on TV. We also do have our Twitter handle at Joy News on TV. Tag us, send us, and Erastus is ready.
You can see it is spraying towards that end, go back to where we came from, and then come back here, disinfecting the open space, and then we'll move along. So as we move along, we are going back to that place and coming back. What is it doing now?
So as you can see, we want to make sure that we disinfect the place properly. So we are doing a second Passover. to make sure that every surface is covered. So
Right.
that's what we are doing now.
Right. So as you can see, we're doing again where we started, and this one is intensive. If you are here with me, you can feel the presence of the chemical within the airspace itself. And so it is doing an intensive disinfection of the air itself. All around you can feel the smell of the chemical within the open space. And so it tells you how intense the spraying is at the moment. We have to keep our nose masks on to be able not to inhale the liquid so much. But you can see that the open space is being sprayed around, and he's giving the instructions as we go. This is really deep. How long can it last in the air with a chemical?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. So every 15 minutes we do refill.
That's correct.
Great. So that is what is happening at the moment. Right here you can see the mayor of Kumasi, who has also been going around to check what is going on. I'll try to just move over, have a chat with him on what is happening here at the moment. So this is the team that is going around ensuring that the right things are being done. And what you're seeing so far, is this what you planned?
Yes, we plan more than this, because not only the drone that is doing the spraying, we have vehicles and we have manual sprayers too. This market is a very big market, but the drone is there purposely for the road and the rooftop and all the others. We have a lot of areas that will need a vehicle. The vehicle will be coming because we are from KGT. There they are using the vehicle, and the manual ones will enter into the various corridors and do the spraying exercise. Yes.
So you are the mayor of Kumasi, so this is your area. Yes. Currently you've been touring the various areas. Would you call for more intensity, or you think we can finish by the close of the day?
No, I'm sure we will finish for the day. By the close of the day, we will finish. But having the Minister for Local Government here, I will be like Oliver Twist. I will be asking for more, because we have our prisons, and the prisons have not been covered now. We have a lot of institutions, we have schools that have not been covered. So like Oliver, we thank them for this initiative, but we are asking that immediately we finish this, we are asking that the prisons, the schools and others should be sprayed. And apart from this, we are also asking for fumigation, because very soon the rains will start. And we want all the areas that are needed, especially the sanitary areas, to also be fumigated so that we don't incur any cholera. For 3 good years, Kumasi has not recorded even one single case of cholera, and we want to sustain it.
So that's the mayor of Kumasi, Honorable Esibe Antwi. We have the Minister for Local Government right here, Deputy Minister for Local Government with me right here. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
The mayor is certainly happy with what you've done so far, but you hear him calling for more areas. So after this, what are we going to see?
Yes, I'm also happy to be part of this program, and on behalf of my Honorable Minister, he's put up a number of strategies and programs to be able to touch base with all the markets. Essentially, we have validated 1,000 markets that we're going to spray, making sure that every part of it is covered to be able to position ourselves, contain the virals, and as is rightly said, in the upcoming weeks, the rain season will begin, and the tendency is that the cholera may also want to come in. So the fumigation that he's advocating for is germane. We're going to look at it. And then he's also advocating that we also extend our scope to include the prisons and some public schools. It's also germane, and we're going to have a look at it and then provide all the necessary results to be able to, because we want to position, His Excellency the President is simply positioning the country in a situation that not even a single person, at least those residents here, I mean, we will have the life lost. And we can address that when we become proactive. When we are proactive in terms of providing some of these logistics, then we'll be able to contain. So I agree with them. And as you also rightly said, that looking at the way the program, are we able to do it in a day? have come and observed it. We need some reinforcements, so they are bringing some more of the logistics to be able to touch base with all the market.
What are they bringing at the moment? More trucks?
More trucks. They are bringing more trucks, bringing manual spraying machines and all that. That one is also a little bit efficient and linked with the drones. At least we get a better spectrum to be able to work with. So it's a good beginning, and we are hoping to continue. We are hoping that at the end of the day, all the market will have been sprayed. We are not only spraying market in Kumasi. We are touching base with all the market in the 43rd district. As we speak, there are gangs in Obuasi doing spraying, covering all the market areas in Kumasi. Even in my constituency, we get there from here and all that. So the tax is big, but we are on top of it.
How do you see Zoom Lions work so far?
Well, so far it's been good, and so far it's been good. We are not only relying on Zoom Lion for this work. Other private sectors are also coming in. You know, we are not just doing the spraying. We are also providing certain logistics like Veronica buckets, hand sanitizers, soaps, all that. Together with the fabricator stand. We are engaging some entrepreneurs to provide the stand. We are engaging some other stakeholders to provide the Veronica bucket, so that at least we're able to do this. We do and finish within the next 10 days. So if you want to rely on only one person, the tendency is that we may not be able to finish.
Before I go back to the second drone, and we are expecting the bigger drone to start flying at the moment to continue with the disinfection of the open space. Let me find out from you. You've seen the comportment of people, the way people are behaving on the streets. What would you tell them?
I am so happy about that. I'm so happy. I'm even so impressed about the level of cooperation, support by the media to the fight against the coronavirus. I'm so happy. My minister is so overwhelmed because the basic ingredients required to fight this virus has to do with the knowledge and how we'll be able to proclaim the knowledge to that. And that is an area that the media has done so well, and we commend you for that. With respect to the general public, it's been impressive. The attitude, the comportment, the compliance, it's amazing. That shows that Ghanaians with the right leadership, they'll be able to support and achieve whatever levels that they want to go. I'm happy about the level of cooperation.
Thank you very much, and that's the Deputy Minister for Local Government. And we are now seeing his entourage move, and they are trying to supervise. They're going around supervising and ensuring that the right thing is being done on the street. So all this part of the central market has been sprayed and disinfected already, and we still have quite a number of the teams inside the market. It's a very big market. This is the old central market, the Bode entrance. We have several entrances to this market, and we have the new markets about a mile from here, walking through the market alone. And so a lot is being done within the market. We'll continue to follow the spraying gangs and other teams that we do have here. But we still have a bigger drone to fly. I'm told this drone can really cover a large open space area. It has 10 liters of chlorine, and currently we're going to watch that one fly as well. And as you can see, we are filling the drone now. Okay, so are we pausing for now?
We are pausing for now, preparing ourselves. We have to recharge our batteries, and then we'll move inside the market.
Okay.
Yes.
So we are still not seeing the bigger drone fly yet?
It will fly.
Okay.
It will fly. Once we finish everything, we'll take off with that one as well.
So definitely, I'm not leaving here until this particular one has been flown in the air. And as you can see, it has a bigger capacity. This one has 10 liters of chlorine in there, and this one can carry half of that. So they are preparing their batteries to fly this one again. That is the drone team at the moment. We'll be moving to the other sectors of the market where a lot is also happening there. We have other teams that are also in there, doing disinfection right on this street. So we'll move quickly to that. By the time we come back, the bigger drone has been filled up and we're ready to go. So this is disinfection day, as you call it, for COVID-19. And the Zoom Lion team and a number of district assemblies, the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, have all gathered. And we're doing this disinfection exercise.
I'm a man on the beat. Nanaya Jima at Swami Market would also come in, but Erastus Asari Donko is monitoring the situation where he is giving us extensive coverage on the actions being undertaken. And you can see these guns, spraying machines undertaking all this. Nanaya Jima is at Swami. Of course, there's a market there, and Nanaya Ojima has come through with some contributing content by way of the visuals we have. But Nanaya is also joining us on phone as we have all these discussions alongside the visuals. And Nanaya, so far from what you have sent, what picture can you paint for us as far as this is related, this extensive disinfection exercise?
Hello, Roland, it's very difficult to hear you.
Well, I'm hoping that you can hear me clearly. Where you are and from the pictures or the visuals so far you've sent through, how can you describe the exercise undertaken so far?
All right, so far we are done with the Swan market, so we are yet to move to another market in the Swan municipality. Already we had about 50 people, some of our players who have the spraying machines, and through that they are trying to disinfect all the areas in the market from part west or trading west of the traders to the streets, and also some of the shops. They are trying to, the frontage of the shops, they are trying to disinfect all these areas here at the Swan market. And already we've had the Swan market done. They had some people going ahead of them, some sweepers. So they sweep the area, gather the refuse, awaiting a vehicle to catch these refuse from the area. And after that, they spray or they disinfect the areas, the market, and the west of the people, and also the streets. So here we have some spraying machines. Even though there are drones here, they didn't use the drones for the market. They say the drones deployed at the Swan magazine, which is a very huge area, industrial area, and they think the drone will be useful there. So the Swan magazine is done, and the Swan market is done. We are yet to move to another area to continue the exercise. But interestingly, when we got to the area, there were some who had come to trade, and according to them, even though they knew that the team will be coming, they wanted to, do some trading early morning, but unfortunately, the team was here early enough, and immediately they saw the team and with the military men and everything, they packed their wares and left to their homes. So we are saying that by today, about 10 markets here at Swami will be done, including the Swan magazine and other industrial enclaves in the Swami municipality.
If you extensively, you look at the allied markets close by, in what form are they? Are they big, are they medium, or just very small, mid-sized markets?
All right, so the Swan market is the biggest here in the Swami municipality. The others are small markets in various communities here in Swami. So we are yet to move to the other markets, the smaller ones, but I'm learning that there are other 2 medium markets in the municipality, and from there, the rest of them are small markets the team say they can do in few minutes. So we are expecting by close of day, all these markets here will be disinfected, and with the drones being deployed to Swan magazine, it's expected that today the exercise will be completed here at the Swan municipality.
But it would speak volumes about extensively how resources have been marshaled to make sure that we move from bigger markets and go to the next one, etc. Where and the teams that you've moved with, what can you say in relation to the resources, the facilities, and the entourage that is undertaking this exercise?
If we are talking about the team itself, that's the spraying team, I would say I'm very impressed with their protective wear and the efficiency with which they are working. I'm very impressed, and we are expecting that by Tuesday, and with with support from the assembly and the MCs on the ground, other municipal, other people who work in the municipality, the assemblymen and the unit committee members are also, here to guide the team and also give them some support. So we are expecting same in other areas, other markets to be visiting soon.
Well, when it comes to this, then it also means that we will be on you as you also get to the next point of the market. Where will you be moving next? Now, from there, which other markets have been lined up for you to cover with the team you're moving with?
So from interaction with leaders of the team, they tell me the Abdumanu market is next, and I'm hearing that it's a medium-sized market. So they'll be doing the medium-sized market before they go to the smaller ones across the municipality. But the one that a lot of people are, waiting for is the Swam Magazine, which is the biggest among the places we are expecting them to disinfect here. So that is the biggest challenge, and we hope that with the drones and other equipment, that will be done effectively and quickly.
We have to let you go, though. But talking about the Swam market, because of what you said, its size, its dimension, or how big it is, how does that pose an enormous tax for the team, based on your experiences and observations, too?
Roland, can you please take that question again?
Looking at the size of the Swam market, and based on your own experiences and observations, how does that pose a challenge for the spraying team?
That is the Swam Magazine, if my guess is right.
Exactly, sir.
Swam Magazine is an industrial enclave. Lots of mechanics, spare parts dealers, and other work related to mechanical activities go on at the Swam Magazine. So I'm learning one of the biggest, if not the biggest, in the West Africa sub-region. And just imagine how huge the Swam Magazine industrial enclave is. And it's very huge, I should say. It's very huge. It will take quite a length of time to get this area disinfected and this area cleared of this virus we are trying to fight.
Thank you. Nanaya Ojima is our reporter in the Swami area. The team he is moving with operating this way. They look at various designated markets, and the next port of call is, of course, the big industrial hub and market of Swami. But look, a man who has been very extensive in the coverage this morning is Erastus Asare-Donkor. And he's currently in the center of the market, the central market. So let's go straight to him and see what he's got.
So we have this gentleman who we're going to follow for a while. Which street are you going to go?
Oh, that's Infantry.
Okay.
I don't
All right, so let's follow you. Let's follow you as you do your job. And we have also been joined here by the Menchia Divisional Commander, ACP Boa, who is also joining the exercise. So you are here with us on the streets as well?
Yes.
So far, with security, how far?
You are seeing what we are all seeing. Everything is okay. The market, the traders are not here. The drivers have also listened to us, and so they are not on the streets. So security-wise, it has not been very difficult.
Any acts of people trying to break into shops or
no,
any acts of...
So far, so very good. We only had a small hitch around Achamfo bus terminal, but it's been solved. Some drivers wanted to park at where they were not supposed to park this morning, but that one has been solved. Now we are going to fumigate the police cells.
So we're going to fumigate the police cells. Yes. And that's quite a distance from here. It's just a walking distance. So we're following ACP Bua, who is the Menchia Divisional Police Commander. They are going to fumigate the police cells at the moment. So they are taking some 2 spraying guns with him at the moment. We are walking to the Menchia Police Divisional Police Command. And we're going to watch how the cells will be fumigated at the moment. So in your shot though, we are taking 2 spraying guns at the moment. We are walking all the way to the Menchia police station. And we're going to fumigate the cells when we get there. So this exercise is still ongoing. We do understand from the Deputy Local Government Minister that we are bringing in reinforcement. And by reinforcement, we are getting more spraying gangs to join the team because the market is very big, the central market, I think. And so we are getting more spraying gangs to join us. We are also getting more trucks, spraying trucks, to also join us in this exercise to ensure that at the end of the day we have every place covered. So in your shots there, we still have quite a number of the teams who are coming in here to make sure we finish Kumasi proper. We have the military personnel who are also going from one place to the other, and as you can see, the military officers who are also on the ground to ensure that the writing is done as well.
No, this one we don't want to put it on news.
Okay, so the commander doesn't want to speak to us.
No, if it's about you interview me on that, I'm okay with that.
Fantastic.
Tell him something.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what is commander doing on the streets with us?
Oh, certainly I'm the GOC of this command, and it's my responsibility to ensure that things go on well. That's why I'm here with my soldiers to ensure that this exercise is carried out properly. Yeah.
So far you've been going around. How is the situation?
To be honest with you, from the beginning, it wasn't good at all. We should have started around 5, up till around 6. I was here at KJTM Market. I didn't see Zoom Lion vehicles there. I went to Asafo Market. I didn't see. Later on, I heard from my chief operations officer that they were working right from, I think, Ejisu to Tech coming down. So it's now that the thing is picking up. By the time that we wanted to start, actually, we're not happy with it. We should have started.
We were able to start around 6. I think I was joined the team around 6 here at the Central Market. Yeah. But when you go around in terms of security, how do you see the whole situation?
Oh, security is well. I mean, security is okay. We haven't had problems with the market women or the citizens of Kumasi. They are cooperating seriously with us, and things are going on normal without any problem.
What should we expect going forward as the day draws near?
We believe that with this fumigation, with what we are hearing about this infection, there might be a containment. We strongly believe that this infection will, this fumigation will help in one way or the other to stop the containment of the disease in Ashanti and for Kumasi in particular.
I know soldiers, you are not supposed to be scared. Are you scared of the virus?
Why want to be scared? We're not human beings. We are human beings. Certainly, if you look all the world over, even ministers, prime ministers and presidents have been affected. So we are not superhuman beings, and we are not. So certainly, we should be scared too as well. Yes.
Any measures at the 4BN level, trying to ensure that the men, sanitize the area, they do not get infected?
Oh yes, we military, as you know, we keep our barracks very, very clean. If you have visited the barracks before, very, very, very clean. And in fact, before even this issue about fumigation and cleaning, the barracks used to be kept clean. And then, of course, our soldiers have been educated on the various things that we're supposed to do to not to be infected. So within the barracks, everything is okay. We have no problems, and the soldiers are aware. And then I want to also add that when the thing started, the military high command, led by the chief of defense staff, came with service commanders, and then there was mini diabets in almost all the garrisons. My garrison was the second garrison that they visited, and then they talked to the soldiers, the civilian employees who are working with us, and our families. And with this talk that we had from our military high command, things have changed seriously, and then we don't have problems at all in the barracks.
Your name, sir?
I'm Brigadier General Afo, the GOC Central Command, Kumasi. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Commander. Yeah. Thank you very much. So Brigadier General Afo there with his men monitoring and ensuring that the right things are done. So we continue with the disinfection. We're trying to reach the Zongo police station, and we do understand that 2 teams are going there to disinfect the cells, and that is where we are going to observe it for ourselves over there, how things are going. So as we walk to that area, we'll also be encountering scenes on the streets, as you're seeing in your shots, people gathering around to catch a glimpse of what is going on at the moment. So you can see people on the streets. This is the street that leads to Alaba, and it's a merchant hub, trading hub for the city of Kumasi. And this is where all sorts of merchandise come to Kumasi, from bicycles to spices to other things. And this is where the disinfection exercise is also going on. As you can see, people have gathered here. I'll try to just get a word or two from people. Why are you here?
Yeah, we are here because of the holidays, and we are seeing how they are spraying all the market, different areas.
But you are not supposed to be here.
Yeah, it's true, but I have to come and see. To see how the thing is going on, because I don't want somebody to tell me tomorrow, oh, yesterday they are spraying, we came here, we see what is going on, this. No. That's why.
Are you aware that by getting so many people closer, you increase your chances of getting infected?
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
But you still want to be here?
No, I'll go back, because I just want to talk something about little small.
Oh, fantastic. So what have you seen so far?
Oh, it's very nice. What I'm seeing, the way people are comfortable themselves, people, not much of people, it will be very nice. Yes, sir.
Well, so quite a number of people who have gathered here just to catch a glimpse of what is going on. As you can see, a number of people from all the way to Alaba. So the street behind me leads to Alaba, the merchant trading hub, and from here you can also go to Menchia Palace, where another team is also situated. But we're going to take this route, try to get to the Zongo police station, where the cells, the police cells, are going to be disinfected at the moment. We want to catch the action. Yes. So we're going through these alleys. As you can see, quite a number of people live scattered around this particular place. We are getting to the Zongo police station, and as we go along, we'll try to gauge the mood of the people here. So what is happening here? Are you aware of the virus? He can't speak English. Right.
Let's go. Show yourself. Here is a real Zongo.
First, here's a real Zongo. What's the level of knowledge about this virus?
Okay, everything is fine, but I'm newcomer, but here, come in. That's what they grant interview. Okay.
Well, so inside the Zongo, many people sit around.
Yeah, the people sit around.
There are people who have quite some knowledge about the virus.
Yeah.
But do you really care about your safety concerning this, the spread of this virus?
Yeah, but
Well, so far, so good. So
what
far,
have you done to protect yourself?
Later on, I came to buy something. When going that home, I'll do myself everything.
What have you done to protect yourself?
My things is, I have a tissue, but everything I wash my hand and soap. That's so very well. Go that place, you see something.
All right, so we're trying to get to the police station. We're walking through alleys after alleys inside the Zongo. And we are just walking over to catch the disinfection of the police cells at the Zongo area. We're almost there. It's interesting how people react to the spread of the virus, and you can see people grouping together. It's a morning, and so there are those who are preparing their cocoa for the morning. You can see people preparing and selling their cocoa at the moment, and that's the local porridge. And we are just behind the police station. So we'll just enter and see what is going on within the cells. Okay, there we are. So if you've been monitoring, wherever we pass, we have empty streets. And just because people have decided not to open shops, they really want to comply. And so you can see empty streets. And this is the Zongo police station. Okay, so we'll try to go in there to see what is happening with respect to the disinfection of the police cells. So here at the Zongo police station, you can see the men and women, some of them in PPE, as you can see. So we'll get to the police cells to see what is going to happen. So if you're watching us live, we are now at the Zongo police station where the Zongo Mansia Divisional Headquarters is located. So Commander, have we started with the disinfection?
They are there.
Okay, so let's go inside.
Now we are done with the cells.
Okay.
Okay, this is the first point of call.
So you can see the ground is wet already and the disinfection has started.
We've taken away all the suspects.
And this is the police cell.
Yes, we've taken away all the suspects and they've done a very good job for us. They've disinfected the whole place and they are now going to the CID office, the divisional CID office, where we receive a lot of people, complainants, witnesses, suspects, and other visitors.
So take us there. Let's see the action. So this is disinfection of the Zongo police station, and already the team is here, and they've done quite a yeoman's job. You can see the spraying team over here. So have they finished with the whole setup?
Yes, from here the last point of call will be the divisional MTTD office.
Okay.
That'll be the last point of call. After that, we will say thank you to them for a good job done.
All right.
Yes.
So let's go to the MTTD where we do the last disinfection. And let me say that staff of Zoom Lion has been engaging and doing a great job on the streets of Kumasi, disinfecting every part of the market. So we came to the Zongo police station, where we also have the Menchia divisional headquarters. And already we've done the cells, we've done the offices, and we are going to do the MTTD as well. We have the divisional crime officer as well with us here. Would you say hi to us?
Oh, good morning.
So this is the MTTD. This is our last port of call. So we're waiting for the team to come around.
Charlie, last place.
Spraying or disinfection exercises to make sure firsthand markets, not only in Accra but also Kumasi and the rest of the country, are locked down at a certain point in time, at least in a particular day. And today they're doing it in Kumasi. The Minister for the Ashanti region had indicated, looking at the enormity of the exercise, how big Kumasi and the rest of the markets are, well, if they don't complete the exercise in a day or two, they would have to continue up to Sunday. We'll see about that. What we can give you is comprehensive coverage of how this is being undertaken, and we also want you, for example, if you live close to any of those markets where they are undertaking the disinfection and you have seen some related tales you would also want to contribute to us, you can tag us on Facebook. Joy News on TV is always available for you. It is our official page, and while you tag us, also like the page as well. Send comments. We have a Twitter handle at Joy News on TV. Also, get to follow us. Give us more of your comments subsequently. But it is also in conjunction with the various assemblies in Ashanti to make sure that this exercise is a success. We'll go back to Erasa Sasari Donko in due time, but the preparation has been done, making sure since dawn they're able to put the logistics together. And then also we have these spraying exercises undertaken. Call from Market is where we're taking you, and we'll tell you what is going on there just to get you up to speed with minute-by-minute action by the National Disinfection Team that is doing all this. And let's take you to Kofrom. And what can you tell us to be the latest? And it's part of the national disinfection exercise being undertaken in Kumasi. Well, we took you live to Krofrom. What you're seeing, live pictures from Krofrom, and the team, they did this based on simulations that had been undertaken. It's part of their work though, but they did these simulations knowing that there needed to be some notification to these market women and traders, and then after this evacuation, they will go there and do the spraying. And that's what you're seeing. So far, our team right here at Joy News, covering the exercise deployed there. The whole of the regional capital have been extensive. Look, they've been doing great work so far. If you want to get up-to-the-minute information on this exercise being undertaken in the Ashanti Regional Capital, this is the right way to go. And part of the whole team monitoring is the leadership, the general officer commanding the command there, making sure that he and his men, alongside the personnel deployed as part of the entire task force to help keep law and order, are also monitoring the situation. And you can see them well geared with their nose masks and just making sure that they put everything in place. These interactions are important to ensure that residents don't come into contact with the team and don't disrupt actions on ground. Erastus Asari Donko and the rest of the team, Nanaya Ojima, Kwesi Debra, we also do have Prince and the rest of them. Will bring all this to you as it unfolds, as it keeps being covered throughout the rest of the day. What we're doing is also to enable you get the insight into how the exercise is being undertaken.